Hello, this is Stephanie with cardsbystephanie.com, and welcome to my groovy 1970s kitchen. That sound you hear is my cat playing with a cat toy. Anyway, these are my boring kitchen canisters. I love them. I got them at Cost Plus a year ago, but sometimes I can't remember if that is sugar or salt, and it would just be nice to have these labeled. I thought that I would use vinyl to label them and cut out the vinyl shapes with my Cricut, but today I decided I'm going to go ahead and use some die cuts with a view chalkboard paper. I'm going to cut it with the Cricut. I'm going to run it through the Xyron to make it sticky, and I will be attaching it to these canisters you see here. In addition to my Cricut Expression machine, I'll be using these products. This is the new chalkboard stack from Die Cuts with a View, also known as DCWV. I'll be using some chalk ink wet wipe markers because I don't have real chalk, and I really like the look that these give on chalkboards and chalkboard paper. And I'll be using my Xyron 250 Create a Sticker machine. I bought this about 5 or 6 years ago, so if you're looking for one of these in the craft store, it might look different now. I have permanent adhesive loaded in here, and what I'll do is just run my cut shape through there. I'll use the hand crank, and out will come my sticker that I can put on my canister. I found a shape that I really liked in the new Artbooking cartridge from Close to My Heart. It's on page 74. And it's this one over here on the right, under Icon. Before using special paper, I always like to do a test cut with some scratch paper, so I have that loaded. I've turned the pressure down to low, and I have it set to fit to length 3 inches, because my canisters are a little over 3 inches wide. I've selected an Icon and real dial size, as well as Shift and M to get this shape. And if you have this book, you can always see right here, this is highlighted on the keypad to show you where to find that. And I'll hit cut. And that looks a little smaller than I like, so I'm going to adjust the size, and I'm just really thankful that I made my test cut on scratch paper before using my really nice Die Cuts with a View chalkboard paper. I've loaded the dark chocolate espresso colored chalkboard paper. I've adjusted the settings so that my speed is on the maximum, or 5. The pressure is 4. I've adjusted the size to 3.5 inches, and I kept it on fit to length. I also used the multi-cut button because this is very thick paper. I'm just going to cut one as a test. Well, I did a test cut, and the paper moved. So what I did was I stopped it, and I ran the brayer over it to get the paper to cling to my mat a little better. This mat is used quite a bit, so I think that's why it's not as sticky. And it cut really well, really crisply, so I don't need to have multi-cut on. I've turned that off. So I'm going to hit cut again and just do one, but I'm going to push down and rub the paper to make sure that it stays in place as it cuts. And it pops right off, so I'll go ahead and cut the rest of these. Here I have my 5 cut shapes, and I'll just run them one at a time through my sticker maker. And you can see they're coming out right here. When I peel this back, this has adhesive on my project, but nowhere else. So it's a pretty cool machine. Okay, all 5 of them have run through the machine. There's this area with these teeth. I'll just lift this up to tear these. I wrote on my labels while they were still on this strip so that it would be easier. And as I was writing, I put my fingers across the word sugar to write the word popcorn. So I'm going to try these to remove it. I bought these because sometimes I'll use them to clean my stamps. I've heard you can also use Windex to remove from this type of paper. So that's coming off really nicely. And I'll just let that dry before writing that word again. And here are my new labels. I just peeled them off of the carrier sheet and stuck them on really easily. It feels good to finally have this project completed.